got a few plants that I need to move on this morning. And that's one of them, the Savoy cabbage. But it's only in a really small pot, 2 litre, definitely not big enough. We just put it in there to bring it on a little bit, but it's got some leaves that are going yellow, so take those off. I'm going to stick it in a 10 litre, and I'm going to take what leaves off the bottom here. Then I'm going to repot it right down to there, and it should be perfectly fine in a 10 to 15 litre like this. Just going to take it out and have a look at roots. You can see it definitely needs to come out. So I'll take that bottom bit away. That's going to loosen all that root system up. It'll get its best start in its new container by doing that. I have part filled this already, so I'm just going to seat it in the central now. And then I'm going to bury that plant right up to those first leaves. But I'm going to put a bit of feed in there as well. Fish blood and bone. Then I'll get it buried. So I'm just filling right edges, then I'm compacting it down and then filling it again. So we're getting a really stable plant that way. Then I just need to water it in. Now that's ready to go back down to that container garden, and you can see it's a lot shorter, stockier, but stronger plant as well. And you can see that it's trying to fold in those leaves at the top to form that head. And it'll stay in this container until we decide to harvest it. We're only looking to get quite a small head of cabbage. So I'll pop that back down to the container garden, and then I'll get on with the next job today. And one of those jobs is these peppers that we've been growing indoors. They're getting to be a good size now, so we need to think about moving these on. No problems with roots at bottom, but the sooner we move them, the quicker they're going to grow. And that's especially important when it comes to peppers. We need to get them established as soon as possible. They don't need a big jump. Just a 9cm pot's plenty for now. In exactly the same way we just did that Savoy cabbage. We just put a bit in bottom, just so we can push this down a little bit, and then we'll bury a tiny bit of that stem, not a lot, on peppers. We'll get a bit of tomato feed, and that's all we need to do for each one as we go through that pack. And then these plants will start to grow a lot bigger, a lot quicker. So just infilling around that edge, and then pressing it down. Just move your peppers on in stages. Don't put them into a big container all in one go. For some reason they don't like that. So that's a bit more of a compact plant, but I'm still going to bury it a little bit deeper to there. So just up to that first set of leaves that came out is where you want to bury your peppers to. no deeper than that. Then I'll just go through the rest of these peppers, do exactly the same. Part fill that pot, drop your plant in, so you can see it's going to be at that depth that you want it to be. And then just infill around edges. And you can see again, buried up to them first leaves, and a nice compact little plant. If you're noticing on top, there's some little white marks on these leaves. That's where I blasted it with some water to get rid of aphids. So that's just water droplets, it's not a disease. We could just rub that away if we wanted to, but it's not going to hurt anything if we don't. It'll wear itself off in time. But all these jobs are definitely worth doing. So I'll crack on and I'll get all the rest done. So that's a few more done, but I have got 3 packs of these. So while I'm doing it, I might as well get everyone sorted out. Only a couple left to do now. I'll show you how deep I plant them and how much of this compost that I remove from original planting. So basically, because I'm going to be burying these a little bit deeper, I only put about that much compost in, because I've got to get this plant in as well. And you can see that it's come quite a big block of that old compost. So I just break the entire thing away. And then I'm just left with that plant and its root ball. So then I can just seat it in dead centre, like that. Then all I need to do is infill all the way around. And as I'm doing that, I'm compacting that compost down, as well as straightening that plant as I go. So I end up with loads and loads of fresh compost in there, which has also got more nutrients in than that cell that it just came out of. And all the time making sure we don't bury it any more than that first true set of leaves. You can bury a bit at stem to give yourself a more stocky, sturdy plant, but you don't want to bury any deeper than that. And a couple of minutes later, you've got a nice stocky little plant. We'll do another one. So, that much compost. Then we take his plant out, get rid of a lot of that old compost. These little balls, they're just feed that's in compost. So we're left with that plant and that root ball. And this works really well if you've got plants that are starting to bend to one side. Then when you plant it right down to there, you're taking that bend out at the same time. So just seat it in there, nice and central. Infill around. And if you put a load in all at once and get a shake, it'll settle itself. And then you can just firm it down. So you're getting loads and loads of compost in this little 9cm pot. Firming down and straightening it at the same time as you go. Always keeping those 2 leaves above that soil line. and that's that one done. So that's another little job done this morning. All those peppers now potted on into 9cm pots. And because it's lighter and it's warmer than it was a few weeks ago, they're now going to grow even quicker. So we can get them to that point where we can put them in the final containers to grow on and give us some fruit. And obviously, now they've got 2 or 3 sets of true leaves, I'll give them a little bit of tomato feed as well. A very diluted one though, you don't want to go too mad, because you could burn the roots of these plants if you give them too stronger a solution. So I'm just going to dilute that tomato food down a little bit more than it says on the instructions. As we're planting things in containers or we're moving things into bigger pots to grow on, we've also got new little seedlings coming up as well. And that's some more peppers that we did. And we did these from a store-bought pepper, a nice big yellow one that we got from a supermarket. And I saved the seeds and dried them out. And that's these ones on this side. And I put 2 seeds in every cell, hoping that we'd get at least one. And you can see that 2 of them have come up in every single one. The one next to it is seeds that we saved from last year, from a chilli plant called Allotment. And they've all come up as well, except for one cell. But it does kind of show you that the seeds that you can save from your supermarket bought, once they've been dried out and it came from a really ripe fruit, because that's important as well, you can get free pepper plants out of it. So we've potted those peppers on, and we've got some more that will be ready to pot on soon. So I think for this year we've got plenty of peppers. So now we'll concentrate on other plants. Like the next stage as we get into May is going to be all about tomatoes, cucumbers, courgettes and squash. And we've already got those growing behind us. So we'll move steadily from one variety to another as that weather allows. So by the time we get to end of May, it looks like we're going to have a lot of plants. And if you're interested in seeing what we'll be doing next, then please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care.